thousands and thousands of digital assets.
Thank you, and I yield my time back, Mr. Johnson.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. We will go to the gentleman from Iowa, Mr. Nunn. You are recognized for 5 minutes. Thereafter, we will go to Mr. Molinaro.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to compliment both the chairs of the digital asset on the financial services side as well as the Ag Committee for working so well on this, both bipartisan, bicameral, and we're going to get into, for those folks at home playing the government bingo card on acronyms here, an SEC and a CFTC. Now, under the SEC, we're talking about all things that are securities. Under the CFTC, we're talking about all things that would be commodities. In my home state of Iowa, we know commodities very well. But we do hear from Chair Gensler on the Financial Services Committee that all tokens are securities. And we heard here in the Ag Committee not only a month ago from the FCC Chairman Binham, who said pretty much the opposite, that all commodities are where they should be. So if we can, I do think, Mr. Hall, with respect, it is important that we provide some guidance for those who are in this space. Mr. Massad, you are a former CFTC chairman. Simple question, right? Ethereum. Commodity, security.
I don't have enough information. I think the concern about Ethereum, was in the merge where they changed the system of validating transactions. There seemed to be a foundation, a group of people involved in that. Is that, under the Howey test, a common enterprise from which, if I hold Ethereum, I'm expecting to receive a return? I don't know. And that's the problem with all these. I don't have enough information.
And I think that there's a lot of Americans who are in the same situation. What's the challenge of having these conflicting, messages out there coming from both the CFTC and the SEC on this?
It confuses people, obviously. And I think, obviously, we're in a stalemate where we're not improving investor protection because of it.
Right.
And the risk is, if we try to rewrite it without having enough information, not only could we get it wrong, but there could be unintended consequences in our broader markets. That's why, again, I'm not against coming up with a new definition. I'm just saying take a little more time.
Well, let me push back on that just a moment.
Sure.
I think Ms. Rubin actually had a very good argument here from Herida, which is an Air Force guy, Air Force creation, compliments, by the way. Industries do want clarity in the law. And I'm going to go to Ms. Monnier on this. We've seen the last few days a couple of other countries and other regions have moved out in this space. The European Union has moved forward with the markets in crypto asset, kind of a space in between the FCT and SEC called MICA. The United Kingdom is finalizing its own digital asset regulatory proposal. What I think was highlighted here is we don't necessarily want to regulate the commodity, we want to provide the framework, right? So could you speak to us from Falcon X's perspective where you guys are seeing innovation thrive when there's a structure and where innovation is being stymied because there is no structure?
Absolutely. Thank you for your question. Certainty in any industry gives the ability for those who want to get involved, who want to build, who want to grow, who want to create businesses to do so, right? And having no certainty makes that very hard to do. When you employ people, you can't employ people with the assumption that your company might be here today, but may not be here tomorrow. You have an obligation to those employees. That certainty is necessary in the US right now, and we're seeing that the jurisdictions where there is certainty, and I want to make clear where there's certainty, not lack of regulation, is getting the benefit of those companies being founded there.
You are the first and only, if I have this correct, CFTC registered cryptocurrency focus where you are a swap dealer, which is a great thing. How is the CFTC as a principle-based regulator in comparison to the SEC in this form of regulation? Do they have it right?
Yeah, we've had a very robust and effective dialogue with the CFTC. It's nuanced. They've been very interested in learning about our space and understanding our business. They're certainly not an easy regulator, and that's okay. That's not what we're looking. Nobody in the industry is looking for that, right? So they've been very eager to learn about our business, eager to learn about the space, eager to understand how the existing framework that they have is one that we've been able to comply with, and that's made it incredibly easy for us to be able to build in that space because of that certainty.
So let's go back to our bingo card. On the SEC and the FTC, let's take this away from the unelected bureaucrats and put it squarely in the court where I've got, 750,000 bosses back home. What can we be doing in Congress to make this space better framed for businesses like yours?
Certainty, taking congressional action to create some certainty in this space so that we can keep doing this here in the U.S.
I'm going to push you one deeper. What does certainty look like to you?
To me, it looks like a system where there's rules of the road, there is a framework that you can operate in, that will be the same tomorrow, and so that you can invest in this space and build a company in this space.
Nothing worse than DC whiplash. I get it. Copy. Chairman, thank you very much. I yield back my time.
As much as it may pain me to say it, I think Mr. Nunn hit it out of the park with his description of the need to close the gap here. Well said. Mr. Muller, yes, right. Mr. Molinaro, you are recognized for 5 minutes.
Is that now the standard, Mr. Chairman? Are you going to grade our lines of sight?
Yeah, sure, yeah. You are either better than none or not quite as good as none.
Well, bingo.